I rise in sadness, really, today, because I simply have to say to the government I cannot support them tonight. And I just want to make the reasons why that is the case. I want to say to my honourable friend, right honourable friend, as he knows, I supported him enormously in every task that he's had, and I stand behind him on most of these charges. It's difficult. The government faces the most terrible compromises and consequences, and I feel obviously for them, and I want them to succeed. But I do feel that today we are taking arguably the second largest decision that any government has taken since the Second World War. The first one was back in March, the second one is now, and that is to lock down an economy which plunges individuals and people, businesses, into a terrible state of lost jobs. And we're doing it on the basis of Sage's advice on the Friday and Saturday, well, the Friday night, I say, before it was leaked for Saturday. I want to say I thought the leak is appalling, that whoever did it should be sacked, strung up to dry, come here to apologise, grovelled out the door on hands and knees, and beaten on the way out, frankly. Because, to be honest with you, this is appalling, what they have done. It's appalling because what they did was bounce the government. And they bounced the government because I'd like to think that the government would have then spent its time investigating the data that was being presented to them that has now subsequently unravelled in the last few days. I would have loved the government to have looked at this carefully and understood that, for example, when Sage start talking about 4,000 deaths to be reached by December, it's now quite clear that even Professor Whitty has said yesterday, I think all of us would say that the rates would probably be lower than the top peak. I think there's been some rather overblown rhetoric on this. Well, it was their overblown rhetoric, in case he missed the point. And the reality about this is that that figure has turned out to be incorrect. Professor Tim Spector of King's College, London, has said that the rate now is at 1, he believes, falling after some plateauing, and there is good evidence that across the board the tier system is beginning to work. And I simply say to my right honourable friend, and I'm sorry, by the way, that our right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, wasn't able to stay for our right honourable friend, the member for Maidenhead, but he must have been busy. But my point is that she was making the point that I want to make now, which is many of these tests, which my right honourable friend has said previously, have been looked at before the tier system has a chance to bite. I thought that what the Prime Minister did back in October when he chose to go for a tier system was brave. It was brave because Sage was arguing for a circuit breaker. By the way, I hate circuit breaker. It's a euphemism that is appalling. It's not a circuit breaker, it's a business breaker. And as the Prime Minister himself said, it's a very, very big decision. And it's a decision that damages lives. And the people that will be damaged by this will be the poorest in society. They will be damaged because they lose their jobs. The loss of a job is not just an income problem. It's self-respect. It's a status. It's what you do. It's how you stand up in front of your family and show them that you are bringing, as it were, the money back to the house and improving their lot. All of these are damaging. And this decision, I believe, was not necessary now. I believe the government can use the circuit, the tier system, to make sure that we do press down on it. And the evidence from all those areas that we have looked at, Liverpool in the northwest, is that we are beginning to see this come down. Further pressure on this, I believe, would work. All the data now that is unravelling, I'm afraid, is unravelling on the basis that now we move to a full lockdown. The damage on the economy is enormous. Can I simply ask my right honourable friend this as I close? Can we now please have that economic impact assessment urgently to show what the damage will be to our economy, the livelihoods, the lives and the people's well-being and mental status? But I will oppose it tonight.